Well, that's my fault. I clicked that twice. Sorry. Sorry. How are you guys doing today? Um, yeah, it's a Sunday. Woohoo. All right. Now that it's a Sunday, we got that out of the way. We did a little bit of something different today for our normal coffee shop game on Sunday that you guys know that we do. We did a little differently. We all took our laptops, went there, and then instead of us gaming from there, like setting the game up and stuff, we went and had mini warm up. So mini warm up. Brian is the name from that channel. You should check it out. He's on our YouTube channel here. He's one of the people that you can find in my profile. And, he hosted the game, so it was Zombicide. And if you like zombies, then you're gonna like that. Hey, it is our brother, our family member who we adopted and put in a trunk. He just doesn't know it yet. It's Mythos from Frost and Fist, and good people there, man, at that channel also. But how you doing, Mythos? So today, Mini Warmont hosted that Zombicide game we were talking about, and it was kind of weird not me not doing it on this end. You know what I mean? I mean, I've gamed with Mini Warm Up before, but generally on Sundays, it's been the evening or afternoon, and at the coffee shop we do it. So a little bit different, which is okay. And so yeah, it was fun. It was fun, and I got killed. I was the first one to get killed in the game, ironically. So that's okay. Somebody has to die there. So what am I doing? There we go. Yeah, it's good to see you too, Mythos. I hope you're having a good Sunday with your family, and you guys know me enough to know that's the most important thing, your family. If you don't got that, well, the rest of this matters. This is all fun stuff, but for sure, make sure you get your family time in. So that's cool. I hope everybody on your end is doing good there, sir. And I was looking for something. I don't remember what I was looking for. There it is. Um, so we're good, but yeah, getting used to doing things slightly different. It's You've had a wonderful day together. Good. I'm glad you and your family, or you and your wife, are having a good time today. You should. When I'm done with the show, probably ended around 5ish or so. I get to play with my granddaughter Maya. So she's the one miniature that uh, is custom built. Took 9 months to make. Delivery was a little expensive. Wasn't necessarily on time, but she did come fully assembled. Mythos, just no instructions. That's all. Oh, you just walked in your door, huh? And everyone's tuckered out. Well, that's good. Hopefully, you got to go do something fun. I know you guys like to go do wrestling and things like that. So, I hopefully you had fun whatever you got to do, sir. And if everyone's tuckered out, then get some rest. If you got to go, you got to go. It's okay. Um, as long as Keegan is not, within 10 feet of me dancing, I can be left alone. I'm okay. So, um, but so far so good. So we did Zombicide with Mini Wormut, and that Prison Outbreak's a tough version, a tough version of Zombicide. It really is. And if anybody likes zombies and hasn't heard of it, then for sure you should check out Zombicide. Now we like to play Warhammer and historical battles and all these other games too, but zombies is kind of interesting. It's not like the rest of them, so it is a bit of getting used to. However, once you play, you play. Now, onward to some a find here. Keegan had a little bit of a find. I believe it was Barnes and Noble he went to, and so he picked up Warhammer Fire Team. Looks like Space Marines and Necrons. Whole bunch of stuff. This is basically a board game with the miniatures on hexes. Quite interesting because it'll say it comes with 5 Primaris Assault Intercessors, 10 Necron Warriors, 3 Necron Scarab Swarms, a double-sided game board, rulebook, 14 dice. 14 dice, oh, okay. 22 data cards, mission cards, targets of opportunity cards, special issue war gear cards, operation cards, and tokens. So I think he picked this up for $18 or something stupid like that. It had a big sticker on it. That side. So, well, I'm going to do an unboxing. He gave this to me to do an unboxing. So, probably my goal is tomorrow night maybe, or tomorrow after work, do an unboxing and get this out to you today because I got family stuff to do tonight. And then he picked up another one called Doom. So it's interesting because if you're in Warhammer, I mean, you don't necessarily think about the side games that they do, or at least I call them side games. What did you do, Mythos? Oh, all right. You went to an anime convention? All right, then. You had to have had fun. You know, I mean, you had to have. Come on. This is my fault. Because the way it sets on the side, on the way I have my screen set up, I got to change it because I accidentally click one and then click it again and force a habit with the other system I was used to using. So once in a while, it'll throw things up like that. But that's cool. If you got to go to a convention, man, those are fun. Speaking of conventions, we're going to do that March to Victory one in March, which is, geez, not that far away. So I proposed to a few of the members, hey, what do you think we should play? Because we'd like to try to take Team Yankee, which is more along the lines of what they're doing. They're doing all sorts of battle games, but this would probably fit in, and I think it would be a good addition. Plus the Red Dawn, and you guys, Mythos, you know the movie Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn. So they're doing an addition to Team Yankee for that. So I'm gonna get that. I don't care if I have to not eat for a week or whatever, but I gotta have that because it goes along with it would go off my army and I, watching the movie when I was younger. So get that, and that will be one of the games that we do. I'm also looking at redoing that virtual convention. I think it's open though this year in our area, so we're probably going to try and do that too. They usually hold it at the Marriott, but that's right here in our town, so we might go out there for a day, get a space, and introduce people to our craziness, So I don't know, but we will take it from there. Yeah, it does sound cool so far, Mythos. So the one here in town won't, not going to cost anything to go to. Kansas City is more or less, like I've said before, it's about a 5-hour drive for us to get to Missouri. That's if you don't stop and, get out and use a restroom, or like the last time, it was an accident. Keegan got out the rest stop. I was tired. I left. And I guess he tried calling my phone repeatedly for upwards of an hour before I realized that my phone was ringing and I forgot him at the rest stop. So I had to go back and go get him. And then he thought it was on purpose. So sometimes you have hangups like that. Stuff happens. But other than that, it was pretty uneventful, other than don't feed him before you put him in a car, unless the windows can be rolled down. That's all I can say. But it should be fun. I'm looking forward to meeting the guys up there again from Wiley Games. Jay and his wife Robin and McMurray and some of these other people I got to meet before were really pretty cool. So it'll be nice to see them and hang out with them a little bit and bring something other than last time we we kind of, we did the live stream and stuff. We'll do that too. So that's one of the things I'm doing is, you ever have things you want to make sure you do in advance. So um, it 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 was an honest mistake, Mythos. No 10% for insurance money or any kind of arrangements made with my daughter. No unforeseeable things. Just an accident. That's why he's only there for an hour. It wasn't really raining that bad. He had shelter, so and a bathroom. It was a rest stop, so he was okay. Hey, hello, Charles. How are you doing, sir? Hopefully, you're doing good. Uh, my character was the first person, Charles, to get killed in this homicide today with mini Warmont. So it why does it do that? It is what it is, though. So that's okay. Now I'll tell you something interesting there, Mythos and Charles. So I was talking to Jeff from Hex to Hex. So I guess him and Wardrobe. If you guys should check their channels out, Hex to Hex and Wardrobe. They're on my list that I've subscribed to. So check them out. They're good guys too. Apparently they're going to send us a game over here at Gamers with Coffee. They're going to send us one of those games with the chits and break me in to play that. So when I get it, absolutely going to give credit to them and do a little unboxing and show you what they sent me. Then I'll have to see if I can fumble through learning it because, I mean, it's a different type of game system. So they said they would get that for me. And I think that was they're very cool of them. Very nice. And it's just cool. It's cool to meet people like that in the hobby. And so it's just nice. Really nice. So. And look, there's Mini Warmut. He says hello too. Hi, Mini Warmut. I haven't seen you for a while. I got to get it to quit doing that. But yeah. So the game with Mini Warmut today was fun. Even though I died right away. And then poor Mini Warmut, his character was going to survive, but D came up and shot him in the back a couple times. And yeah, took him out of the game. So he would have lived, but yeah, a couple bullets, that'll do it to you. And as Charles says, he was listening while cleaning out his refrigerator. Oh, yeah. Cleaning refrigerators out, sometimes you don't realize what you had in there. Like spaghetti. I didn't know. Wasn't that last month? Oh, maybe I should throw it away. Or, you can always turn it around too and just say, look, I'm growing my greens in here. You just don't tell anybody that stuff sprouted on its own. You're okay. You're okay. But yeah. This is what I like about you guys. Everybody says hi. Everybody's always welcoming to each other. That's really cool. So thanks for tuning in though earlier, Charles. It was interesting though. It was fun. So next time I guess we'll host it. It'll be me and Keegan. We'll figure something out. Mini Warma is eating corn dogs. Mini corn dogs. The little bite-sized, completely coated ones. I'm sure is what you're talking about. Those are okay. But yeah, so far it was a good Sunday. Cannot complain at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So I'm glad you guys are having fun. Your expired stuff was early 22. Yeah. It's okay, Charles. I mean, that happens. At least you noticed it, right? Now, remember, there's this difference, too. Best Buy and expired are two different things. Just remember that. Sometimes the Best Buy thing you can drag out for a while. Like macaroni. Pretty sure you can. It's better fresh, but It's macaroni. So, 10 years from now, you could just throw it in some boiling water and be done with it. But yeah. So back to what I was saying there, we're going to see about doing a couple games at that March to Victory convention. I think that's going to be fun. So, but when we sign up, we got to figure out exactly what we're going to do, and that's what we're doing right now, is trying to toss around, because I don't want to go out there like the last time for part of it. It starts on a Friday, so I'm going to go out and try to get there Thursday evening, and then that way we're there for Friday and Saturday, maybe do a little bit Sunday morning because of the drive back. And mini warm up, what did you put up there? You are doing a kill team tomorrow? Really? Did you get the book, or did you get any? What kill team do you have? I know you've been talking about, but I didn't know if you'd picked one up or nothing. Oh, psych. Okay, never mind. I thought you were serious. I say, then you got me going a little bit. So maybe I should do that out there. Mini Warma says he teases. Never. He's never sarcastic either. You have some hella cool sound effects though that are good. That are, you don't even gotta pay for them. You do good things. If I could quit double clicking on this stuff though, Mini Warma, I'd be okay. I don't know why, force a habit. But so a couple of games for out there, I think would be good. Maybe do one with the schedule for Friday, and then one for Saturday, and see how that goes. And Mini Warm-Up, you're supposed to be out there this time. You can make it, sir. You can make it out there. I know Keegan scares you a little bit. We'll make sure he's okay. I'll give you a taser. Just don't tell him. And Mythos said he would be driving out there with Freak. Or no. Yeah, he might. Work on that, Mythos. See if you can do it. That would be cool if the whole gang just showed up, like all of us just marched into March to Victory, right? Our own thing. So it'd be good. Because we had quite a bit of fun the last time. And there were some awesome tables that were set up. A lot of cool things. Still going through the auction stuff that Keegan purchased, because I can only go through a little at a time. He ended up with a lot of terrain pieces and such. So interesting. But might do that though, Mini Warm-Up. Maybe we'll do Kill Team on out there, because that'd be a little bit different. But for sure, Team Yankee, and I'm hoping we have that Red Dawn release, because I didn't look at I can't remember when it's going to release, but that should be a hell of a release. That's going to go over big, because it's going to, because it's Red Dawn. But yeah, so that's where we're at for today. I didn't get much miniature work done during the week, mainly because I've been just busy at work here again. Last week I did good. This week it kind of hit a stall. The weeks are over already for me, and I got to work tomorrow. Well, now that's an interesting question there, Mini Warm-Up. Star Wars Shatterpoint, from what I've read on it, I looked at, they're going on. It's the same company that makes the rest of it. The Shatterpoint minis are going to be a little bigger. Oh yeah, that's what you're saying. I'm betting they're going to be like 32 millimeter, roughly. You know what I mean? Because 28 millimeters, kind of average size. I think they're going to be a little bigger, because it's not designed for full-on battles. It's going to be designed for, like Mortal Kombat, but with Star Wars figures. That's kind of what I get out of it, Going to pit the fighters against each other, or they're going to be smaller skirmish battles. You're not going to be using lots of minis, so they're not going to be able. Yes, it's atomic mass produces the game. Mini Warmut says the rules are probably going to be close to Marvel Crisis. I don't know, because I don't know Marvel Crisis rules. I don't have the game, so I don't know. I just know that they're condensing it down from Legion, with all your troops like I've been painting, and it's more like it's just more like a one-on-one PvP kind of thing, just with models. So, yeah, it would be good for you to get many more. Are you talking about Marvel Crisis? I think you'd fit in there with that. Shatterpoint, we'll just have to see. There's a lot of excitement and hype behind it. So they did a great game with what they've got, and I think building on. I mean, it's not really going to hurt them to build on Star Wars, for gosh sakes. I mean, it's Star Wars. They're not gonna get burned on it. I don't think at all, because anybody that's playing any of the Star Wars games, that's going to pull X-wing players too. They're just going to go, well, I didn't want to do Legion because I don't want to do ground troops, but hey, me and my friend can now, fight each other one-on-one type of thing. And so I can see where it's going to be good for them. They're going to make some money on that one. But why not? I mean, it's Star Wars, so it's gonna go. It's like the X-wings. It's gonna fly. It'll take off on its own. I think it'll do good. But woohoo! See, that's the problem, anymore, and the rest of you guys. As soon as you start doing something, then here comes something else. Here comes something else. Here comes something else. Can't keep up with it all. Kind of like when Keegan picked up Fire Team Hammer. Well, I mean, this is interesting. Mini warm-up. We'll probably have to have you try this, because this is a board game more or less with hexes. I wonder. There you go. Hex to hex. Look, they do make it. It's a hex map. You can only move one hex at a time. So it'll be interesting to see that one there. But yeah, man, for sure, it's always something in the miniature world. There's just a ton of stuff going on, and I don't know how you keep up with all of it anymore. In this game, you asked if minis are involved. Mini warm-up, yes, there is. And Charles, yours just popped up. You have enough miniatures to keep you busy and to play figures and a few hundred to build and paint. Yeah, and such as our lives, right? We do more building and painting than gaming, because that seems to be the addiction part that I always joke about. But it is kind of an addiction, because it's like you don't really need it, but you want it, and then you buy it. This Warhammer Fire Team mini warm-up, I'm going to do an unboxing of it. I think Keegan got it for $18. It's like normally $50. Ages 12 and up. 2-player game. It says averages 45 minutes. But it's a map with hexes. And you're going to be the Space Marines versus the Necrons. So it's going to come with GW miniatures. But it seems to me like it's almost kind of like a kill team. They call it Fire Team. So it's a little different, though, in the sense that it says each player is going to command a fire team of operatives. You got to complete missions, achieve your objectives, seize victory, make use of your warriors' skills and stratagems, and firepower. So it comes with quite a bit. I mean, there's quite a bit of minis here. There's 15 of them, plus 3 scarab swarms. So that's quite a bit for this box. I mean, the price would be worth the miniatures themselves. Oh, goodness. What did you say there? Mini Warmut. Look over here. You purchased how many dice? 50 D10s. Does the bigger battles, does it require, you haven't read that one, so does it require a lot of D10s usage-wise? I mean, I could see that if you had, 4 people playing and you had to have a whole bunch. Get some D12s and yeah, you might want to get this game anymore, but it's I think you've been wanting to do something with Kill Team, but Fire Team, if you've got a Barnes and Nobles out there, go look, because they tend to, for some reason, get Games Workshop stuff and just discount it. And Charles, you said, oh, you have that many games that you need to play? Oof. Maybe by the end of the decade. Well, you could try. So that's the problem is, what do you play? I mean, when I say you, I mean you and per se. I mean just people in general, right? I mean, I like generally, if it's video games, I like first-person shooters the best, and so then I gravitate towards that type of thing with the tabletop miniatures. For instance, Risk is a fun game, but nowhere near as fun to me as the same type of game with the miniatures, right? I like the miniatures part of it, so that's the thing. Okay, Mini Wormut, so you want an epic size battle. Hey, Mini Wormut, says Charles, you were on a buying spree a couple weeks ago? That's cool. If you go on a buying spree and you get some good deals, that's great. I noticed that's really hard to part with things in this hobby. Like so we have all the Star Wars stuff for X-Wing, which is a good game. The kids like it, but we don't play it all the time anymore. 2 years ago, the boys were living here, and we were just there. We were always gaming. Now they're on their own. My oldest son has a daughter, and there's just less time. So what I want to do is I don't want to get rid of Star Wars X-Wing like at all, but they've upgraded it. So I have the upgrade deck or box, which is like $50. So I'm going to upgrade whatever I can that comes with. Then the rest of the ships, I think what I'll do is just sell those off so that I'm not getting rid of Star Wars X-Wing. I'm just condensing it to a usable size. Because the worst part about some of this to me is you can have all this beautiful stuff and never play with it. And that's hard too. So buying sprees are easy to go on and easy to. And that's a stupid work thing I have to do. It interferes with a lot. Otherwise, if I had time to game more, I would. One of the things we want to do is, in our local area, maybe rent an area and put an ad out first. You know what I mean? And see if we can draw a bunch of people to come in and game for the day. And I think that would be a cool thing for us to do too. Wow, let's see. Charles, you did 44 orcs against the medieval figures. Oh, that's cool. Like your own. That's pretty big. Anytime you got 30 and 40 miniatures, that's, I don't know how they do in the Warhammer world. They do the Armageddon battles. And you've got thousands of points of miniatures on the table. And the only thing to me would be is that would just take a very long time to get through each turn, or at least it seems like it would. I see why Games Workshop came out, redid Kill Team, brought that back out and pushed it because it's quick. You know what I mean? It's quick. Oh, there's Keegan. Hello, Keegan. We weren't talking about you or anything, so you're good. You're good. No worries. No worries. I did tell him. we're going to go out there to march to victory. So, and this time, I won't leave you at the rest stop on accident. I'll make sure you get home. Oh boy. Keegan says, sure. Okay, mini warm up. What's the names of the games you have showing up tomorrow? Come on. You'll have to put them out there, man. And oof. That's a lot there, Charles. 100 versus 100. Well, let me ask you this on your rules, so I'm not familiar with those, and I don't know a lot of these rules. There's things I know and things I don't, so I don't want to talk about something I don't know. But my question is, you could have 100 or 200 figures. Now, how easy is it to kill? Because some of these game rules are very cumbersome. You know what I mean? And if it's cumbersome and you know it takes too long to get through a turn, then 20 figures is too much. But if it's more straightforward, well, then there you go. Mini Wormut said he is getting Men of Bronze, Rebels, and Patriots. Right? Patriots, yeah. Okay, so Keegan, the Land Fortress, you did get it completely painted now? So you just got to do the weapons? Do you mean the weapons and such, or do you just mean that it sucks? Many more about you were saying rule books for Ancients era and Black Powder. Yeah, the Black Powder stuff. We talked about that before. So I guess what I got to do is I gotta try. There's so much I want to try. I don't want to just play the same particular games my whole life, but I don't want to give up the ones I have either. So there you go, Charles. Many Wormuts asking you um how does the Billion Suns play out? That's its own rule book, I take it. And so, Keegan, you said you're working on the detail stuff. Yeah, I see that paint you have, which you started the body with the other day, looks really good. By the way, I'll probably have to do something like that, Keegan, to all the zombies and Invader there, because they're just kind of plain Jane. I mean, you can play with them, but there's a whole lot of them too. So I don't know how detailed I get. I want to base coat them and then maybe touch a few of them up, which would probably make me want to touch them all up. So Charles says he hasn't gotten to it yet. Many Wormuts telling you to hurry up and get to it. Okay, so this is a good point you have there. Mini Wormut, right. So if you go through a dozen rule systems, there's going to be key things you can take out that you like that would apply to other games. And so there's so many independent rules and so many that people have come up with and then people have revamped. I mean, I think if you're going to homebrew games, then and you'd be easily able to do that. You could come up with your own. Okay, I wrote this on a piece of paper. This is what we're going to do today, kind of thing. And as long as everybody agrees, then that's okay. I think, like I said before, for Greg, it's more or less. If you want to make it in depth, that's cool. But to get people into it, it should be simpler and gradually work their way into some of this stuff because some games are just daunting. I remember years and years and years ago, sometimes you pick up a rule book and you're like, that's it. You just put it down. You're like, that's it. It's too much. It's just too much on some things. And then you don't even remember the rules because they were at that point, there were so much. You just are like, that's it. I'm done. And you just go forward. Now I got a fairly good basis of rules, but, you know, um, some rules vary. That's kind of like on the naval games that Mini Wormut's been talking about, which we need to do, by the way, sir. Remember, we were gonna do a naval game. So some systems are a little more in depth than others. I don't know all the others. I know the oak and iron rules; those are fairly simple and it's fun, straightforward to play. Sails of Glory. There is more to it, but it's not terribly complicated, and you can just do a little bit more with it. Okay, so yeah, there you go, Mini Wormut. Kind of like that too. A rule book of 100 plus pages. After a while, you just get tired of, you got to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Um, oh wow, Charles, you got 7 Osprey rule sets for figures aren't even started on 2 of them. And Mini Wormut, you need boats trained. Yeah, I have. I'll tell you what, I have a really awesome looking uh, mat for naval stuff. Really, really very nice neoprene mat. And it was the Sails of Glory one. Really, it's hard to find, but if you look it up, you can find it. It's got the nautical lines in it. It's really, really just like eye candy kind of a map. And so, Charles, many more months saying, what are they? Yep, fill us in. Let us know if you want to. But yeah, many more months. Keegan, I think, would like it too. It's the naval games are just different because they always had to turn their ships and counter the other moves. You're only firing from one side. You're only firing once because the boats are moving. So then you've got to reload. You've also got to turn the ship so that it can fire the other side. There's a little more strategy involved. But tripods and triplanes that Ares makes. If you like War of the Worlds and you liked anything that had to do with World War One or two, then you would probably like that game because that's World War One biplanes fighting off these Martian tripods, just like War of the Worlds, but in World War One. So that is really a fun game. It's not complicated, and the maps for that are pretty cool. So Charles here answered you there, Mini Warmut. He's dragging his feet on the mighty Endeavor, Hex Encounter, World War II. Now, World War II stuff interests me there, Charles. So I'd be interested to know is World War II both Western and Eastern fronts for June of 44. So you're playing specific time periods then. Um, all right. How many boats in oak and iron? Their scale is 1/600, very close to Black Sea. Yeah, 1/600, 1/700. There's not much difference. Hold on a second. Let me grab the box. Hey, warm up. Give me a minute here, or well, a couple seconds. All righty, hold on. This is what you use a second camera for, right? Might be a little too close. And Charles, you said the Dragon Rampart, Absolute Emperor, Gaslands. Now, see, Gaslands, I've played. That's an interesting concept with just taking miniature, little cars and stuff everybody has laying around their house and gaming. And actually, they have quite a few templates we've talked about before too. At least at the hobby store locally, you can buy a package of the templates. So hold on a second. Let's come over here and put this other camera up here too. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, I like that. There we go. We'll do it like this. Okay, so there's Oak and Iron. Historical naval battles in the age of piracy. Sounds really cool. Actually, it's fun. So let's take a look here. I know I got too much junk on my desk. So, first of all, it will come with islands, shallow water, and like real shallow water. Depends on what you're doing. The markers, they're not bad. Punch those out. I'll get to the ships here. Hold on. It comes with islands. And then here's a big one. They're dual-sided, so. The rulebook's huge, mini Warmut. Look at that. That's it. And that gives you options, and that's more or less just telling you the components half of it. The rules themselves are pretty simple. And it comes with instructions, obviously. And the back sheet's kind of neat because this would be worth copying and then laminate so you can just use. It does come with the map. It's a very shiny map. It's a paper map. It's pretty cool, but one drawback to these paper mats is, they fold them. And once you get a crease in it, it's a bit hard. So here you go. Here's the box, mini Warmut. So here's your ships. And this is a bit piratey one. As you can see, depends on which ones you're using. Scale-wise, they're pretty nice. Some of the bigger ones. Yeah, these were painted up. Tried to make the sails look more like canvas instead of plastic. And so we also have the Queen Anne's Revenge party. So the ships are pretty cool. The dice are pretty neat. It'll tell you what you're going to do. There's your range ruler mini Warmut. Yeah, these ships were painted. Ashley painted some of these. So they're all nice and dark brown. Could have left them alone, I guess, but it just looks better to make the sails look more canvassy. You don't have to. So this is what you're getting in the box, right? And then you're going to get your cards that you could use. Just tells you what you can and can't do. The only thing I got that was extra was this, because you have a wind counter in this mini Warmut. So this one is a wood and acrylic one. So because the direction of the wind plays an important part. So from Litco, I got this acrylic one. And it will sets together. When you have it on a table, it's okay. It sets in there. And then you can just turn it so that you know which way the wind is blowing. And that's wood. That was just a cool little, I think it was like $7. I bought that because I wanted to go with it. But there you go. I mean, it tells you what the name of the ship is, what your skill level is, what the firing arcs are. And these little clips, they go on the side here of your card, and you can move them around. So actually, just self-contained. You really don't got to do a whole lot. It's not super complicated, but I think the ships are. You can see the sizes there. They're pretty cool. So yeah. Hopefully that helps you figure out mini Wormut. So it'll come with everything you need. That price you were showing me was a good price that you found. But the rules, this is, like I said, this isn't even, I say the rule book, but most of this isn't even the rules. Probably half of it's showing you things. So there's very few rules, but everything is illustrated. Right down to what's on the dice. Where other rule books will just tell you, well, this symbol or that symbol, this actually shows you too. And so it comes with quite a bit. I didn't put the flags on, the decals on them yet, but they'll all store back in the box too. So there you go, man. Oh yeah, you're welcome. It's a fun game to play. It's not. You got a lot in the box, but it's not some massive box that you can't just take with you almost anywhere. See what I mean? Granted, it has the paper map. The paper map is really nice, but it's paper, so then it's got the creases, and that annoys the living crap out of me. But you can straighten them out. I've seen where people have folded them out, put them out flat, and then if you're careful and you put like a towel down or a cloth and put an iron on top of the cloth, not directly to the paper, you can get those wrinkles smoothed out. But then if you have to do anything, you fold it back up, then you're right back where you were. So, yeah. So that's that for oak and iron, and it's a fun game. Oh crap! I forgot to put the. It's not. Here's your. How you're worried about token heavy? Yeah, this isn't token heavy. These are mostly just shows you where you're fired from which side of the ship. I gotta put these in the box. Probably be good to have them with the game, huh? But a lot of these are some smaller pieces too. For like if you fired from the ship, it's just like a puff of clouds, so that you know what side you fired from. And yeah, there's not much to it token wise, so you don't got to worry about it being a token heavy game. It's not. It's got some cards. It's one thing I wish Warhammer would have done. Games Workshop is they make these beautiful books. I'm not complaining. They got all that right, but you know what I want? I want some cards that I can throw out the table that have the attributes and skills of this stuff, so that I'm not trying to flip back and forth between a book looking for it. And true, maybe you can memorize every single thing if you're constantly using the same characters, but I think it would have benefited them to do it a little differently. But there's oak and iron. If you can grab it, mini Wormut, do so. It's worth it. Slap a piece of plexiglass over your paper maps. And Mini Wormut says, spoken like a true Hex Encounter player. So that tells me if I start doing those games, there's lots of paper maps in I'm guessing, right? Because the maps I've seen on some of the videos I've watched, if it's overhead, it looks paper. I don't know. Do they make any of them in neoprene where you can roll them up, or are they just paper maps for a specific mission? So, but yeah, you can flatten them out. I guess my problem is if I was playing it all the time, I could put it on a table and keep it flattened out, and after a while, it'll be fine. But because I play a bunch of different games, that just doesn't have the chance to happen. I like the neoprene maps just because of the detail. They don't slide around on the table. Vinyl's okay too, some of it, but if it's too thin a vinyl, then you got a problem. And then I think one company I bought a map from, it was all 1-inch hexes. And I thought this would be great for using, my little baby 6mm tanks, to move them and kind of create my own scenarios. The only drawback is that map had such a gloss to it that no matter what I did looking at it, even with the lights, it just was too reflective for trying to like video it. And yeah, really nice looking map, but like a super high sheen, and it couldn't really video any of it. But it was a nice map. It was 1-inch hexes would have worked great for those little miniature tanks, because could have used them each to represent X amount of something. But it was just that's just the way it went. But okay, so Charles, you said mounted maps, and a few can be had in or on canvas. That's cool on canvas. Well, paper maps are be okay. It depends if they're not big maps. If you're unfolding, I don't know how big these games are, because I haven't played a Hex Encounter game, so I'm gonna wait and see what Jeff sends. But I'll have to see, because the creases, as long as the creases aren't bad. But I know if you had a small, like 2 foot by 2 foot, you're only gonna look at like maybe one crease or something. Or if you've got sheets that can be placed together, I don't know. But I do know, like the one game, they were taking turns on as a Murray. My God, the table was huge, like a sheet of plywood it looked like. So if you can get big ones like that too, and you can put them down, that would be great. Like if you had room to do it. For instance, one of the guys, my God, I don't know who it was I was watching, but they built their terrain on plywood, and he had a basement. So he had the tables there. Him and his son would just pick it up and set it up on some sawhorses. And one would be a jungle terrain, one would be desert, one was snow, and they were beautifully done. And they would just lift it up. And if you can do something like that with paper, you can mount it to something and just move it around when you played, that would be great. So I'll have to see, I guess, what that is. Oh, you're being summoned. All right. Live play is edited and upload. My table flip is removed. Oh yeah. Because I was the first one to die. All right, Manny Warmut. Have fun, sir. Go ahead and do what you got to do there. It was fun gaming earlier, so edit that. There you go. 3 maps. Okay. So then, do you play these maps in, I would assume, succession? Like you do this part of the campaign, then you move to this map, or do you set the maps up on a table where it's like this 1, 2, 3, and then you play the whole map? Take care of me, Warmut. Have a good night, man. So we'll see. It would be quite interesting to see how that plays out. So that's cool. So Charles, question: in your area, is it just you, or do you got a group of guys you play with, or friends, or do you guys go to like the hobby stores, or do you have a way to get through some of these games at all? Because it'd be hard if you don't. So I was just curious. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think interesting. But hex-based movement's not. I'm not against that at all. Um, holy cow, was BattleTech with the mechs. I like the premise of the game. I didn't mind their maps were cool. It had elevation on it. So I didn't mind moving on the hexes. The only thing I hated with that was there was just too many points to destroy an arm, too many points to destroy. Like that game just drags out. Otherwise, the concept is good. It should be more of a quicker kill, a little bit less. Like cut all those dots down to a third of them, so these mechs, you're not sitting there for an hour trying to just disable something. 55 by 38-inch maps. Well, so then you get the maps and you put them down permanently, it sounds like, or close to it. Oh, solo play? Well, if you can get a chance to get people over to play that, that'd be interesting too, and teach them. Some games are good with solo play, and some are not. Mini Warmont, I sent him the Fallout game because we don't get a chance. We just don't play it. I played it, took it out once, and kids moved out basically, so it just sent. I sent him because it's geared for solo play, and I just don't have time for it myself. Um, and I like Fallout, but I was never into Fallout like to the degree that some people are. I just because I'm into other things. But that game specifically was designed to play against yourself if you had no one to play with. So I thought that was built into the game, and that was pretty unique. Oh, solo play is the only way you can go. Okay, Charles. Well, one of these days, if you want, we could do it like this, where you're at your house and I'm here, and maybe you could teach me if you want. Because once I get that box, I'm going to start trying to learn what you guys are doing and see how it goes. But if you can't really leave and you got other things you're concerned with, if you have a laptop, we could do it like this too, as long as the camera works. It's up to you if you'd like to, though, Charles. But it's an invite for you there, kind of like how we do Zombicide today. Just big game. The next one will be. I've got to set it up in a room back here. So I've got a table to game with, so I'll set it up there and see what we could do that way. So it will be quite interesting, to say the least. But that's an invite for you there, Charles, if you ever want to take us up on it. And because we try to do something every week anyways, and at least we get some gaming in every week. Because what happens is the week goes so fast. It's like, where to go? And I mean, unlike the other several million people that have stated it, I don't get it. I used to have time. I'm not doing too much different. But it just seems like the day goes faster and there's just no time. I used to be able to go fishing after work, go do hunting, play games. Now it's like I seem like I work, I turn around, and the day's over. And it's hard to get time in to play. So once a week at least, when we do our show at the shop, and then when I do this show here, it's the one day a week that even though I'm busy during the day, I still have made time to go to the coffee shop and game. And sometimes the game on this show, like you've seen, or at least we get to hang out and talk with, other gamers. So try to do that because that's how I learn. I mean, I've learned a lot. I've had people tell me I've taught them things, and I feel good about that. But other people have taught me a ton of things. So, because not all of us know all games, right? So this way it keeps us all kind of learning a little bit. So it is fun, though. It is fun to do. And I don't know. I'll be interested to see how this goes, though, for sure. And I'll check it out. But, yeah. What I will do, though, I think, Charles, and the rest of you that are listening is every Sunday, like I said, we do this at 4. If you ever want to be on, whoever's listening, a lot of times I see people picking the views up after the show. You can always, when you're on the show, you can send me an email to gamerswithcoffee@gmail.com. As long as it's not spam. And if you want to be on, you can. If you want to talk about your games, doesn't matter what kind of game it is. We can do something. You guys can hop on and say hi. Charles, you said you do your videos off your phone. That's okay. 90% of the people do too. This is just where I'm set up. The reason you see the same thing all the time is I'm in a corner. So I actually have a corner desk, an L desk. You got my monitor and I have a desktop. This camera pole was like 20 something bucks off Amazon. I got a long time ago. I just mount it to the ceiling with a whole fancy dancy $40 camera. But getting to the phone, see, I can turn this on here and set a game down. If you have your phone, I can send you a link to your phone. Boom, you can be right on there too. And you could show the board or do whatever. You could if you want. That's how, like today, Dee was on her tablet, So that's one thing I was thinking about doing is like Best Buy and whatnot. Some of these stores, you can still get a tablet for 45 to 60 bucks. It doesn't have to be the greatest tablet. It just has to be able to have the Wi-Fi connection and be stable, right? So you don't need no $400, $500, $700 tablet. You just need one that all you're going to use it for is gaming. If you got Wi-Fi in the house, then you're good to go too. And that's kind of what I'm looking at as a secondary option for a few things. So I think that would help because I have the cameras and I've had them for quite a while. But it's a little harder to set up too, you know what I mean? So the phone is much easier, but then you also have to deal with the limitations of the phone. So it is what it is. But with that said, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to pick up my granddaughter here in a couple of minutes, in about 20 minutes or so. Then we're going to play and have some fun while she's still little and can do that little hysterical baby laugh because when they get older, they tend to get ornery, and it's a little different. So there you go. I appreciate you guys showing up every Sunday. Thank you. You guys mean a lot to me. You've all helped me out. You've all been polite and kind, and I appreciate it. So, Charles, thank you for showing up again, sir. And the rest of you, thank you also. If you got any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Send me an email. It's kind of interesting. I will get emails. People ask me things in email a lot. But I don't know. You could ask me on the show too if you'd like. I'll do my best to answer because I'm not an expert. And I'm not a licensed gameologist therapist, all right? I'm just a guy that runs a group. That's it. That's all. And we have fun. But I will talk to you guys later. You guys take care. Thank you again. I'll